This is a game of war. The bullets are real. Make a mistake, and you're dead wrong. The Army calls it basic training. It is, in fact, a time of trial, a time to separate the men from the boys. Separately, as boys, they come. Together, here they will become men. The Army, they say, is a machine. The induction process moves with production line precision.
The gentlemen are here to take a mental test. This test determines what you are best qualified to do once you are inducted into the service. The score that you attain on this test will follow you throughout your military career. Are there any questions?
From fathers and uncles, they have heard the legend, if you can walk, you can march. Yet for every 100 accepted, 45 are rejected. The production line ends here, in a private room.
Your nose or throat trouble? The nose was had a duty acceptance. When did you have it? September of 1962. How do you feel, General? Fine. Pretty good? Pretty good. All right. We're glad to have you. I don't feel that good.
You're about to be inducted into the Armed Forces of the United States. You will take one step forward as your name is called, and such step will constitute your...
The average age is 23. The youngest is 19. They come from city and farm, slum and mansion. And, almost to a man, they would rather be somewhere else. Yet, they are here.
Fort Frederick. Wayne, Rod. Daniel Joseph. All right, now cover in the Army men's drama. Cover down one behind the other, straight down behind each other.
Soldiers now in nothing but name, they await their transformation. Swiftly and efficiently, it begins. Within 72 hours, the process will be complete. When he leaves here, each man will at least resemble a soldier. He will be clothed and tested and interviewed. Each man's personal history will be recorded, his hobbies classified, his educational level determined. He will be reduced to a number, then elevated to a name.
56692-118 is your identification number. You are single, no prior service. You were born in San Francisco, California?
Yes. Part of each man's basic issue is a quarter of a pound of paper, his 201 personal records file. The last entry at the reception station is made here, at classification and assignment. In terms of business management, the Army is a paradox. First, it hires a man, then it finds out what he is best qualified to do. But at the beginning, each man has an opportunity to influence the course of his military career.
Okay, Farrell. I see your Officer County School is 123. 115 is passing, so you are eligible mentally to apply for Officer County School.
Thomas J. Farrell, 21, civilian occupation student.
Would you like to apply for Officer County School?
No, I wouldn't. Take your seats, men. Men, it's with a great deal of pleasure that I have an opportunity to officially welcome you to B-43. The company where you're going to be taking your 8 weeks of basic combat training. A winner never quits, and a quitter never wins.
First Lieutenant Randy Peeler is 27 years old. He's airborne qualified and a graduate of the Army's rigorous Ranger School. Like almost every man in the company, he was drafted.
On your feet! Sergeant Cruz. Take charge of the company.
Okay, let's go, everybody up! Get up, get up, get up! Let's go, get up. When those lights come on, your feet hit the floor.
Week 1, Day 6, 0500 hours, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Let's go.
What you're about to see is part of the actual day-by-day process that will transform these young men into soldiers. You will see it happen exactly as it happened. Nothing has been changed, nothing has been added. For the next 8 weeks, this barracks will be home for 48 men. The 3rd Platoon of Company B, 4th Battalion, 3rd Brigade, U.S. Army Training Center at Fort Ord, California.
Okay, let's go. You got about 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
In the 5 days they've been in the company, they have been issued rifles and field equipment and have received instruction ranging from military courtesy and first aid to the care and maintenance of personal belongings.
I'll be glad when this is over.
Every Saturday for the next 8 weeks, there will be an inspection. This will be their first one.
Parade, good!
This your footlocker here? Clothing looks pretty good.
You have a Bible? Yes, sir. Are you religious?
Yes. All right, hey! Hola! Go!
The overhead ladder is one event of the physical combat proficiency test. Minimum requirement, 36 rungs in 60 seconds.
Move! Come on!
It's 20 yards out and 20 yards back, and 36 seconds to do it.
Get down! Come on, you got him in! Keep it down!
Drill Sergeant Jerry Crowder doesn't expect anyone to pass these tests, not the first time. For him, they are a way of finding out who needs his help the most. Crowder is 28 years old. He is an expert infantryman with 10 years' service. He likes his job. The mile run ends the test series. It foreshadows what the next 7 weeks will demand. For some, the run proves their ability to endure. For others, it underscores their need. For Tom Bright, it ends his brief career as temporary sergeant. Week 1 is over. Week 3, Day 2, 0800 hours.
Bad step to the left. Spread your feet a couple distance apart. Now drop to your knees. Place your butt plate in the box of your shoulder.
The M14 is a 7.62 millimeter magazine-fed, gas-operated, air-cooled, semi-automatic shoulder weapon. It takes a little time to get used to it. For 9 days, Company B will all but take up residence on the rifle range. 8 hours a day, every day, will be spent with the weapon in their hands.
Ready. To the left. Ready. Fire line is ready. Same target. Real your position. Come in fine.
In the 10 days of training, each man must master this basic tool of the infantry. Drill Sergeant Crowder can help, but in the end, each man must win his own lonely duel with the target.
Clear! Clear! Clear!
Fire line is clear. Move forward and give your flying fine Delacorte back. You got 3
Maximum
rounds.
score is 84. The minimum accepted, 30. Each day on the range ends the way it began, with a long walk. It's 5 miles back to the barracks. Time allotted, 45 minutes.
Gotta go! Gotta go! All the way! All the way! All the way! All the way! Hands up! Hands up! All the way! All the way! Hands up! Hands up! Won't stop! Won't stop! Gotta go! Gotta go!
By the end of the 3rd week, the daily run has become a challenge. For each man, it is a chance to prove he is as good as the next man. The run is also an object lesson in teamwork. For those who choose not to maintain the pace, Drill Sergeant Crowder has little patience.
Right! Get going! You're a team, you're not an individual. One man on the team falls out, then the entire team ineffective. Get up there in formation, right? Forward! Forward! Now stay in formation.
Some men, like Joe Hudson, are slow to develop physical endurance. Lacking in muscle, they draw strength from pride. The run is over. The lesson is not.
You know you can make it out there. There shouldn't be any doubt in your mind. You better get in your mind you're going to get yourself in shape. Because you've got just about 5 rough weeks coming up. 5 of the roughest weeks. And you're not going to make it if you don't do it. You better get out here on your own at night and run up down this street 3 or 4 times. You better start building that wind up. Because like I told you before, we're a team. We're not individuals anymore. We're a team.
Self-confidence is a byproduct of basic training. It takes a lot of it to learn how to kill a man.
That's 2 types of bayonet fighters. The quick and the dead. Which are you? The quick.
Of the Korean campaign. The prisoner of war was told that now let me quote again.
Week 5, day 3, 0930 hours. In small units of squad or platoon size, the men of Company B receive instruction in subjects ranging from military justice to what to do if you become a prisoner of war.
The display of apparent friendship caught some American prisoners off guard, and many never recovered. They did not know the
Written tests determine the effectiveness of instruction. Sample question. Any commanding officer is authorized to impose non-judicial punishment under Choose 1, Summary Court-Martial, Article 15 under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, Special Court-Martial, or Company SOP.
Fire group. Attach. Cut.
Graded exercises in the Manual of Arms are conducted by each drill sergeant. For most men in the 3rd platoon, the proficiency tests provide an opportunity to prove to Sergeant Crowder that they have listened well.
Inspection. Huh.
Look at your left hand to get the balance of the weapon.
Entire group. Port. Huh. Put up. Huh.
Report to me as your commanding officer. Tabernacle reports as ordered, sir.
Yeah. It seems so simple, the act of saluting, so unimportant. Yet through this simple ritual of military discipline, each man learns a respect for authority and, perhaps, an understanding of it. For each man one day may be called upon to lead other men. And it is a truism of military history that to command, one must first learn to obey.
Commander of the relief. Post number 5.
Joe Hudson is 21 years old. When he was inducted, he weighed 176 unevenly distributed pounds. He has lost 28 of them. A veteran of 5 weeks, Joe has so far met every demand the Army has set for him. Now, he must pass a test of his own choosing.
Come on, Joe. Come on. Get him.
This is the confidence course. No one is ordered to attempt these obstacles. Each man is free to accept or refuse the challenge they offer. Some men ignore them, but for a man of pride, there can be but one choice: to try.
First time. Don't miss one.
Look, Joe! Kick! Make it! You got it, Joe! Kick off the side pole!
Would you believe?
Me 3 times.
A quitter never wins, Lieutenant Peeler said, and a winner never quits. Joe Hudson is ready now to put the slogan to the test.
Hey, come on, you guys! Blow it up! Let him go!
Climbing a ladder, walking a beam, and sliding down a rope may not seem like much of an accomplishment. But for Joe Hudson, it marks a day that would otherwise be known only as Day 2, Week 6. Week 7, Day 2, 14:30 hours.
Get on line. Lock your weapons.
This is the closest thing to real training ever gets. Live ammunition, 5-man fire teams, and a pockmarked hill deep within the military reservation. Close combat, they call it. For the men of the 3rd Platoon, it's an afternoon in the sun. Cocky and confident, they think of themselves as battle-hardened veterans. Time was when a run like this would leave the men of the 3rd Platoon exhausted. Now it's a way to work up an appetite. For 2 nights and 3 days during the 7th week, there's a camp out called a bivouac. The food's hot, and there's plenty of it.
Lots. Well, you can just pour it on.
Both Dick Callies and Gary Steelberg have discovered the two-way magic of Army food. Callies has gained 8 pounds. Gary lost 10.
Are we going to move out of here?
Ed Hendrickson and Jim Hawk are a study in contrasts. Ed is a high school dropout. This is the last night of bivouac. All that remains is the gentle walk that will take them back to the barracks in the morning. Week 7, Day 4, 0800 hours. Breakfast was served at 0530. Sunrise was 0618. Field equipment was packed and checked at 0745. Missing? 3 field jackets, 4 protective masks, and 2 mess kits. Not a bad record for veterans. To Tom Bright, basic is compressed into 7 weeks, the experiences of a lifetime. He rose to leadership, was defeated, yet remained to learn and mature. From the raw material of youth, Drill Sergeant Jerry Crowder has begun the process that may shape them into men. It began in fear, graduated to respect, and perhaps may end in friendship.
Waterproof bag together.
No matter how it ends, however, one thing is certain. They will never forget it.
Make sure you check it before they put it back in their weapon.
After 44 days, Sergeant Crowder's job is almost done. It will end as it began, here on the dusty ground of Physical Training Area Number 1. No man can graduate from basic training without meeting the minimum requirements of the Physical Combat Proficiency Test. Any man who fails will be given one additional chance the following day. If he fails then, he will be recycled and must undergo additional training until he can. On this field on the afternoon of Day 6, Week 1, the men of the 3rd Platoon found out what the Army expected of them. The expectation must now be fulfilled.
Come on, Hendrickson! Come on, Hendrickson! Come on! Come on, Hendrickson! Come on! Come on!
Maximum score is 100. Ed Hendrickson made 70.
Whoa! Go Bright, you're up with them. Keep going, Bright.
This one's easy. Bright picks up a few extra points.
Hut 22, Hut 23, Hut.
Gary Steelberg is averaging 80 points an event, more than enough to pass.
Come on, Larry. On the starting line, yes.
Tom Farrell scores the minimum. He'll have to pick up points on the next event.
Get down. Come on. Keep it down, Bill. Move out.
The enemy is time. The distance is only 40 yards. But for a maximum score, it's got to be done in 23 seconds.
Put the pivot on your belly. Reach out. Reach out.
Come on, Farrell.
To pass, you must do it in 36 seconds.
Take your jacket off.
The mile run is the windup, the last chance to meet the minimum, 300 points, or be recycled.
$47, 35, 36, 96.
The official score will not be known till morning. Each man, however, has kept his own tally. Tom Bright, 307. Dick Calley's 456. Gary Steelberg, 464. Bobby Hubbard, 472. Joe Hudson, 303. Jim Hawk, 410. Tom Farrell, 317. Ed Hendrickson, without a smile for the first time, scored 327. They all made it. Day 4, Week 8.
I have assignment instructions.
The speaker is Company B's Top Sergeant, Armand Beatty.
I will call off the names, and I will call off the MOS that you're going to be trained in. Or if you're going to OJT, on-the-job training. To keep me from having to stand here and tell each and every one of you what the MOS means, you can go up yourself and look on the board, find that MOS, and you can see what that training is. Right? MOS 91E1. Kelly's. Here, Sergeant. OJT, MOS 51D2. Farrell. Here. OJT, MOS 70A1.
I got a supply.
How did I get it?
Yeah.
I made it. Ooh, I don't have to worry. Oh, you a dentist? Yeah, man.
How you doing? I'm going to be a dental specialist in Fort Riley, Kansas.
What I'll be is something like a company clerk. But that's on-the-job training. I don't have to go through any AIT.
These were actual assignments. 48 men in the 3rd Platoon, 41 will be in combat support, 7 in combat arms. In their Class A dress uniforms for the first time, the men of the 3rd Platoon abandoned the barracks. This is the last time they will march together. No longer will the platoon be a team. Today is graduation day. Day 5, week 8.
To all of the parents, the wives and the families, and the friends of these new soldiers, to you, new soldiers, this is your ceremony, a ceremony which is designed to recognize publicly your change of status from that of basic trainee to trained soldier of the United States Army. To each and every one of you, the very best of the 3rd Brigade, good luck.
The Army is full of slogans and time-honored cliches. And perhaps the saddest one is this: transfers cancel friendships until the next post do we meet. In a typical basic training unit like Company B, about half the men will go to advanced individual training in armor, artillery, engineering, infantry, or signal corps. And many will end up in combat arms units in Vietnam or elsewhere. For every man in combat, however, there are 7 men who back him up in supply, transport, medical aid, food, and equipment. Those are the odds. About 1 man in every 8 will serve in the combat arms, and it's the man at the front, ultimately, who gets the job done. What you have just seen was a true story. 8 weeks in the lives of 48 new soldiers and the men who trained them. For Lieutenant Randy Peeler and Drill Sergeant Jerry Crowder, there will be other cycles, other young men. For the moment, however, duty hours are over. Today is Friday, September 23rd. Tomorrow, it begins again.